Hi, welcome back to our channel. Today we'll be making a very easy homemade gluten-free berry cobbler. So let's begin. Let's prep the filling. For my fruit filling, I'm using a blend of fresh strawberries, fresh raspberries, and frozen cherries. I'll also be needing water, cornstarch. You can also use arrowroot starch. This will help thicken the filling quickly. To add a touch of sweetness, I'm adding coconut sugar, but feel free to use your favorite sweetener if you don't have or enjoy coconut sugar. Now, to a medium-sized pot, add the fruit. You can always substitute the berries and cherries for any fruit you like. Now pour in the water, add the coconut sugar, and last but not least, add the cornstarch. Now give all of that a really good stir. Let's move to the stove. On medium to high heat, bring everything to a gentle boil. Give it a stir every so often so it doesn't stick to the bottom of the pan. It should start looking something like this. Boil it until the fruit has reduced in size a bit and the filling has thickened. About 10 minutes on medium heat. It should look something like this. As it cools down, it'll thicken a little more. Now remove from the stove and let it slightly cool down. Now let's move on to make the gluten-free biscuit. In a medium-sized bowl, add the gluten-free 1x1 flour blend. I use one that is an off-brand from my local supermarket and it works beautifully. Now add the coconut sugar, baking powder, salt, and give all of that a really good whisk. Whisk, whisk, whisk. Now add the room temperature cream cheese. If you want to make this recipe lactose-free as well, feel free to use lactose-free or a vegan cream cheese. Now, using a rubber spatula, gently mix in the cream cheese. You're done when it looks like little pebbles are in the flour like this. You can also do this using 2 knives to cut the cream cheese into the flour. You also have the option of using 2 forks. It really depends on what you have on hand. It doesn't have to be complicated. Now add the milk and begin to stir it in. Mix really well. If the dough is too runny or wet, add a little more flour. If it's too dry, add more milk. I use regular cow's milk, but I tend to use almond or coconut milk for this recipe. So feel free to use any milk or even water to make this dough. After mixing my extra flour in, I'm sprinkling a clean working surface with a bit of flour. Now transfer the dough to that working surface and knead. I'm basically folding the dough inwards, pushing down with the palm of my hands, just until I get it to stick together. I do that a few times and then I'm using a small rolling pin and rolling the top with it. I repeat the folding in 3, flip and roll the dough a few times. It doesn't have to be perfect. This helps the dough come together in a more uniform way. The folds are making the layers of the biscuits. Once your dough has come together as you saw before, roll out the dough, leaving it quite thick, and using a cookie cutter or knife, cut out the biscuits in your favorite shape. This isn't a regular dough, so just be a little extra careful if using a cookie cutter, or dip your cookie cutter or knife in flour before using it to cut. Now set the biscuits aside and let's assemble our dessert. In a sheet pan lined with either parchment paper or aluminum foil, place 4 medium-sized ramekins. To pour in the berry filling, you can use a ladle, but I made it easier for myself and transferred it to a heat-proof pitcher. The mixture is still quite hot in my side, but you can absolutely make it ahead of time and use it within 2 weeks. Now pour into the ramekins the berry filling. Filling the ramekins anything from half to 3/4 of the way up. Add a sprinkle of ground cinnamon on top to give the flavors a boost. This is completely optional, but I love the flavor it adds to it. Now add the biscuits on top of the filling. It should stay on top of it. Sprinkle the top with more coconut sugar. Now let's bake in a preheated oven at 400 degrees Fahrenheit for 20 to 25 minutes, just until the fruit filling is bubbly and the biscuits have toasted and slightly browned. Once they're done, they should look something like this. Serve them right away or once they have cooled down. And for an extra berry cobbler experience, add vanilla ice cream on top. And there you go! A simple, tasty, and fun gluten-free dessert, perfect for any special occasions like Valentine's Day. Although I love this any time of the year. With that said, thank you so much for watching, and those watching for the first time, welcome! I hope to see you all in our next video. Bye!